This month of reading sucked. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another book video. This month of reading sucked. It is March 2nd, which is so crazy. Like, we've gone through January, we've gone through February, now it's March. Spring is upon us, which, thank God. This is going to be part February wrap-up, part what I want to read in March. This month of reading, yeah, it sucked. It was not as productive and fun as I would have liked it to be when it came to books. I had a goal going into February that I wanted to read 6 books because I'm a slow reader, and I read 5 books in January and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing for someone who reads as slow as I do. Let's shoot for 6. I only read 3 books in February. This video is going to be me covering those books as well as what I want to read for the month of March. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how underwhelming things were, which is really unfortunate, but it happens. The first book that I finished in February was The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. So The Great Alone takes place in Alaska in the 70s, and it covers the Albright family, the father Ernst, his wife Cora, and their daughter Lenny, who is essentially the main character and for the most part the main narrator in this story. They move from, I believe, Seattle up to a very remote town in Alaska, and it's told through Lenny's point of view. She's 13 and she's had to pick up and move a lot, and so they're back to, you know, picking up and moving. The dad, he's got this like grand idea about how they need to get out of like the hustle and bustle of the city and move to a place that's just remote and there's nature and you're in charge and you're not having to deal with a lot of I would say like decisions made for you by the government. He is a Vietnam veteran as well, and I believe, you know, at the time PTSD was not something that was addressed as often as it is now, especially for, you know, men and women in the military. So that's definitely something that you will notice with her father. It just follows them acclimating to this remote Alaskan town. You meet the other locals, and there's a lot that happens throughout this young girl's life from 13 on to like early adulthood. Her parents have a very tumultuous relationship, and she kind of struggles to adapt at first, and she's, you know, making friends and just kind of like figuring out how she fits in to this new environment that her father has and mother have placed her in. It's really, really insightful into kind of like how the world was back in the 70s. I was born in 95, so a lot that they talk about, like there are times where they talk about how the mom couldn't get a credit card unless the dad signed off on it. And that's so crazy to me now, how like back then a woman had to get a man's permission before opening a bank account, before opening a credit card. I would never, like, I'm not asking a man for shit, quite frankly. So to know that like that's kind of like the power dynamic back then, it's pretty interesting. I gave this book, as far as ratings go, I gave it 3.5 stars, simply because there were times when I felt like it just dragged on a little too slowly. I think that may have been the point though, because I mean, I live in the suburbs, but I do live near like the hustle and bustle, whereas Alaska, it's quiet, it's Mother Nature, it's slowed down. So I think that was the point, to just have the story move at such a slow pace. But there were times where I was just like, can we go a little bit faster? Just a little bit. The pacing of it, it was just a little too slow for me. I will say though, this is my first Kristen Hanna book. It will not be my last. I definitely see what everyone is talking about as far as like her writing and storytelling. I could smell the fresh air. I could see the dirt road. Like everything was so vivid and so well done. So I did enjoy it, even though I gave it 3.5 stars. I still enjoyed it. I would do anything for Lenny. I think she's just an amazing young woman. You'll definitely see her like grow up and grow into her own throughout the book. Would I recommend it? Would I read it again? Yes and yes. So, you know, we got off to a great start in February, and things just kind of after that. So, okay, moving on. So the second book that I completed this month, it's called What My Mother and I Don't Talk About. 15 Writers Break the Silence, edited by Michelle Philgate. So I partly listened to this when I was like driving in for work, but I also did, you know, read it myself or read along while listening when I was at home. I went into this with such high hopes. I was so excited to read this because I knew that there were going to be really incredible stories written by people about their relationship dynamics that they have with their mothers, and how that, you know, affected them in their youth and how it probably still affects them today. I hate to say it, but I was kind of disappointed with this book. I think out of like the 15 essays that I read, I only enjoyed 3 of them, because it just, and it's not, you know, like I don't want to feel like I'm judging, you know, these real experiences, but I don't know. I just went in thinking one thing, and it just didn't quite deliver. I think I may have been hoping for some really great like pieces of wisdom from other mother-son, mother-daughter relationships, and I don't know what I was hoping for, but what I got was something that I just didn't enjoy all that much. I still chose to keep reading because there are like some writers in here who I've like heard of, and it was nice because at the very end it kind of gives like a brief synopsis of who these people are and what they're doing today. I will say Carmen Maria Machado has an essay in here about the relationship with her mother. That was probably my favorite. It was really sad, but it spoke highly of the value in like setting boundaries with your parents and not allowing them to treat you in a disrespectful manner just because they're your parents. You know, like you're still deserving of respect, even from the people who raised you. So that was like the one story that really stood out to me. But other than that, yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much. I think I gave it 2 stars on my Goodreads account. So I will be donating this. This is not a book that I'm going to be keeping in my collection from time to time, because, you know, it's just, you know, I read it once, don't really care to read it again. So I'm going to be donating it to other people, other readers. And then finally, the third and final book, I actually did the audiobook of this. So it's I wonder if I can get the title right. It's like the Basic Bitch Handbook, Basic Bitch something. Anyway, it's by Stassi Schroeder, who you may or may not know. She is a reality television star. She was first introduced on the TV show Vanderpump Rules. And the only reason I read this book is because I'm currently rewatching the show with my mother. I just decided, now that they've like fired the current cast and are now like rebranding and bringing in a whole new set of people for whatever season is next, I was just like, oh, I want to like reminisce and remember how things used to be with this crazy cast of people. So I just decided to watch Vanderpump Rules, and I'm currently on season 8, which is when this book was released. She like began writing in season 7, and now in season 8 it's out. And I was just curious because I know that she's written a total of 3 books, but I'd never read them. I'd never thought to read them. I thought to give the book a try, and I would listen to the audiobook on my way into work or driving home. And this is one of those like curiosity killed the cat moments. It was not my favorite. And I feel so bad saying that because I know that Stassi is an English major. So it's like, you know, this is a college educated woman who literally pursued a degree in the very, you know, in English, in writing, right? So I didn't think it would be that unenjoyable, but it kind of was. And I worry that the term AF, which is mentioned in nearly every chapter, that's not going to age too well. So yeah, like I said, it was definitely a curiosity killed the cat moment. I gave it 1 star. I did not rate it very highly because it was tough. It was a tough read. However, I'd be lying if I said I now wasn't still curious though to like read what else that she's put out, because like I said, she's gone on to release 2 additional books, and who knows? I mean, like, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who are just think to themselves, ugh, my work has only gotten stronger following like the first piece of work that I released. I don't know if she feels that way, but that's how I'm choosing to look at it. Like, maybe what she's written since is much stronger than what I read with this first book. So I am willing to read her other 2 her other 2 books, or memoirs or whatever you want to call them, because I'm holding out hope that I will enjoy them a lot more than I enjoyed this audiobook. And I don't have it with me, so I'll like put it right here on the side of the screen. But yeah, like I said, after The Great Alone, everything just kind of like with reading. So it was a tough month. Okay, now let's move on to the books that I want to read this month in March. I'm still holding strong with a goal of reading 6 books in the month of March. I think I can do it. I was able to read 5 in January. I think I can still hit 6. I'm really hopeful. So on my TBR at the moment, so I did start this book towards the end of February. This is also on my 25 books I want to read in 2025 list. It is can you see that? Wall of Winnipeg by Mariana Zapata. Everyone says she's the slow burn queen. And I'm about 9 chapters in so far. I'm really enjoying it. So basically, you have this girl right here, Vanessa, who's been an assistant for a couple of years to this guy. He's known as the Wall of Winnipeg. His name is Aiden Graves. He's a football player. And right when she decides, like, okay, I'm done working for this guy, I'm gonna go, follow my actual dreams, he comes back into her life, begging her to come back and work with him. But there's a bit of a catch to it. And you'll learn what that catch is when you read the book. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. He was annoying me at the beginning, but now, like, I don't know, I feel like she has the power. I don't know, I'll talk about it more when I actually finish it. But yeah, so far so good. I like it. I mean, I love a slow burn. That's like my favorite romance trope. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. I'm still reading book 1 in the House of Devils series, City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. Okay, it's taking me 450 years to finish this book, and it's not because I don't enjoy it, it's because there's just so much world building. I feel like there's like 75% world building and 25% plot. I definitely feel the same way that I felt when I read the very first book in the ACOTAR series. I was just like, when are we gonna like get to it? Like, when are we really gonna like get there? So I'm not giving up because I hear really great things about this. It's an urban fantasy romance. I'm still moving through it. I'm like halfway through at this point. But yeah, it's definitely taking me a little bit longer than I anticipated. So hopefully I can finish this in March. And then for the other books that I want to read, I would like to finish the House of Devils series. I have books 2 and 3. So this is City of Souls and Sinners, and this is City of Lies and Legends. I know that the 4th book is coming out in May. So if I don't like get through these books in March, I'd at least like to finish them before the 4th book is released so that it can just be like in one swoop, and then I'm fully caught up with this series so far. I don't know how many books are going to be in this series in total. I should probably look that up, but I know that so far it's looking like 4 for sure. And then the other final 2 books that I'm hoping to squeeze in this month. So in previous videos, I've mentioned how I really want to read Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors, but I don't want to read that until I read Cleopatra and Frankenstein. So I want to get to this at some point in March. I've had my eyes on Blue Sisters for a while. So I'm hoping to get to that as soon as I finish this book by her as well. I know it has to do with an age gap relationship. I believe she's like in her 20s and he's 40 and more wealthy, and I'm sure there's a power dynamic. And I love, you know, like books about messy families, books about crazy marriage dynamics. I'm all for it. So I definitely want to read this sometime in March. And then the last book, speaking of messy families, messy relationships, this is Same as It Ever Was by Claire Lombardo. I read her first book when it came out, which is called The Most Fun We Ever Had, which covers 4 sisters in 4 different stages of life and their parents, and it kind of goes back and forth from like past to present. I loved that book. So I heard that she'd released her latest novel, oh my gosh, a year ago, 2 years ago? Maybe even, I don't know for sure, but I was like, I loved her first novel, so I'll definitely read this. And I believe this has to do with marriage. I think it's also marriage, family, just, you know, drama, family drama in general. So that is what I'm also hoping to read sometime as well. I'm trying to like lean more into audiobooks because I know that all of these are in audiobook format. Audiobooks are a little hard for me because sometimes I just zone out and it's kind of hard to just stay immersed as opposed to like holding the book and flipping through the pages. But I'm trying, I'm really trying. I was able to do well with this when I listened to it, as well as the Stassi's book, The Basic Bitch Handbook. So hopefully when I'm also reading, I can also, you know, listen to it while I'm driving in from work or driving home. And I believe that's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that is 6. Those are the 6 books that I will, we are manifesting. Those are the 6 books that I will read in March. I'm saying it right now. I'm doing it. So yeah, that is basically it for this video. I'm excited to keep posting. I got a new camera. I'm not filming on it right now, but this is what I picked up, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I got this from Costco. Killer deal. So we're making moves so that this channel can be even greater than it currently is. So yeah, that's about it. I'm so excited for this reading month. I'm like putting out great thoughts and good manifestations so that things can be a little bit better than they were in February. February was rough, but I refuse to give up hope. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.